Well, howdy, boys and girls. Here is your Scarecrow project. And for this project, we're going out to the cornfields for some inspiration. For our Scarecrow project, we're going to create the background first, and using these nice fall cornfield colors, we're going to use browns, oranges, yellows, and greens to create some wavy lines on our paper. This will create space and make it look as if your cornfields are going off into the distance behind your lovely, amazing scarecrow. On your curved lines, I want you to create even more curved lines that are in rows. This is the same way that you would see in a field where there are rows of crops, maybe corn or pumpkins or anything that you would see during the fall harvest season. I'm going to take a white, a color we don't use very often, and make some clouds in the sky. This will just show up whenever we do our watercolor resist. I'm also going to think about what would be in the sky above my cornfields, probably a harvest moon or a bright fall sun. So think about those things as you create your background. Now my next step is going to be to get out my watercolor. I'm going to do a little bit of watercolor resist on top of those oil pastel lines in my cornfield. So I'm going to use greens and browns and orange and yellow on my cornfields, as well as some blue to cover the sky. And once your paper is completely covered with color, then it's time to let it dry so that we can work on our scarecrow. And for our scarecrow, you're going to have a lot of options as far as how you want to make it, but I'm going to start off with the head. I'm going to create this one by drawing a pumpkin shape on my paper with a pencil and then adding a face. Once you have drawn it out in pencil, you can of course then go back and trace with Sharpie. After making the head, then move on to picking out your paper for your shirt. Now flip the pattern paper over to the white side. It's much easier to trace if it's on the side that doesn't have a pattern on it. Trace the template for the shirt. Next, you're going to pick a pattern paper for the pants, turn it over to the white side, and trace the template for the pants. It's so much easier to do the tracing on the side that doesn't have the pattern, so just remember this trick. And on one more small sheet, create a hat for your scarecrow. It can really be any type of hat. I've just created this very simple shape that has a triangle at the top. Once you have your face, pants, shirt, and hat, it is time to cut out each of those pieces. And now let's put it all together. I'm going to use a glue stick and I'm going to glue the pants to the shirt and then the head to the shirt and then the hat on the head. Once I've glued those 4 pieces together, then I'm going to flip it over to the back to the white side. And I have some crumpled pieces of paper or some raffia, just some skinny strips of brown paper, and this is going to be the hay that normally is what stuffs a scarecrow. I'm going to glue this where the hands and feet would normally be, because scarecrows do not actually have hands or feet, and maybe even a few pieces underneath the hat for some hair. And to make sure that my scarecrow has a stand for his cornfield, I'm going to take a popsicle stick and tape it onto the back of my scarecrow. Now don't go getting rid of any of your scraps yet, because you can use those to make little patches or pockets on your scarecrow's clothes. This is something that usually shows up on a costume for a scarecrow, a few patches here and there. So glue down maybe some squares or triangles on the pants or shirt or hat, and then you can use a Sharpie to make little stitch marks around each of those shapes. And finally, it's time to attach my lovely scarecrow to my background, and maybe add a few really scared crows in the background flying through the air. Now there are a lot of different creative ways that you can create your scarecrow, so I cannot wait to see all of them. Have fun, and I'll see you soon.